Going on. So we're going to introduce a quick short snippet, give you guys an insight of chassis bracing and what's involved. This particular vehicle, we're doing an N80 Hilux, train canopy to go on it, and it's best peace of mind to brace the chassis ready for those heavy loads. As soon as you go putting airbags into these vehicles, you already know she's going to be snapped, mate. So she'll snap before she leaves. So anyway, here we have basically strip chassis, cab behind me, wire wheel, paint stripper disc all over the chassis rail. Alright, we got the copper, so it's a U-pole paint. You can get that from your local specialist paint shop. It's bloody good shit. So it's weld through copper primer, smells good too. From there, you want to strip the whole car, gain access to your chassis. Our laser cut plates are fully designed off a scan, a 3D model. So the alignment, as you can see, and fit up is perfect. You've got all your alignment holes and slots and everything, and your bolts for your fuel fillers and everything to be maintained. So from here, we skipped a few steps ahead before we even thought this was a good idea, the video. But for now, I'm just going to keep you up to date with what's going on. So the next step is, after it's been wire wheel and brush, you layer the copper. You paint the copper on the back of the Fisher plate, and then paint the copper on the chassis. As you can see, the overspray. Quick tip, definitely put a leather blanket over your fuel. Diesel, never really going to catch fire, but it's just good to keep all the loom and your conduit safe, and obviously the poly tanks. From here, we're going to tack it in a series of 100 to 150 mil segments. Now, if we do that smart now, marking it out, we can use those increments as our weld segments for later on when we're properly welding it out. This saves double handling and saves sitting there with a paint pen marking them twice. So if you mark or tack every 150 mil or 100 mil now, then you just know where your welds start and stop. The whole idea of this is to keep the heat out of the chassis. Good thing is with chassis rails, we're fairly quick at them. We alternate, so I like to alternate each side. So I'll start, rear, bottom, left, and then go top, front, right, and then just keep spreading the heat evenly. You just spend a bit of time front and rear on each side. It gives the other side to cool down, but you definitely want to be welding in those 100 to 150 millimeters max increments. Stitch welds, our fish plates or chassis bracing, definitely like to fully weld them. I know there's other companies and other plates out there that just tell you to stitch weld them. We like to still maintain a correct welding procedure. However, I'm one for rust, and I don't want any water or rust or anything getting in there. So as you can see here, we'll fully weld around in this recess completely, maintaining these holes. And there, we definitely want to be welding the full perimeter of these slots up around here to maintain there's absolutely no chance of water to get behind that plate, because in my opinion, there's no point doing all this work and then in 3 to 6 years it's rusting out anyway, and it's actually making the frame rail brittle. So when I worked on Vixen and did like the whole chassis rail, we also found out there's double layer in here, and we have checked out the specs and the scan and everything, and there is like triple thickness in here where the bump stock is. Just a quick one as well, the Fisher plates are 4 mil steel. You never want to be going any higher than double the thickness of your chassis rail that you're welding to. So you can't be actually welding 6 mil fish plates, 10 mil fish plates. It's got to be at least maximum 4 mil, given the chassis rail is around the 2 mil area. So now we got both sides tacked on. We're going to actually wire wheel everything. So yes, this is welded through. It still gives you a different weld. I dislike it, but it needs to be done for anti-corrosion. And then basically I'm going to wire wheel the whole perimeters, all of this, try and get it back to bare metal there, and then fully weld it. Lay some fat dimes. All right, so before we get into it, guys, I'm just going to talk quick etiquette of the welding setup. So car's on the hoist, both batteries are disconnected, just the earth lead will be sufficient. Electricity is basically as lazy as fuck, so it's going to travel the shortest route possible. So if the metal on the earth clamp is touching, even this shiny zinc coating here, it's going to arc through that, even if it's not even touching the copper. So it will go through anything. Even if this lead here, your earth lead had a slit in it, it'll arc out there first because it's the shortest route possible back from the welder. So to maintain or to keep and ensure safety on the car's electric system and no fires, we're going to take the battery off, and we're going to keep the earth clamp as close as possible to our welding area. Now we've got two sides to weld out. We are going to move that clamp as much as we can left and right. So to get that, we've obviously sanded back or paint stripped piece of, like the tray mount. Now this whole chassis rail is going to get resprayed anyway, so where we can, where it's a nice neat job, it's on the mating surface, we're going to grind back the paint and use that as our clamping area. The earth clamp in that area, it's out of my way, I can weld everywhere, I can see everything, and it's very close to the actual welding area. From here, fresh nozzle, fresh tip, fresh lens, good attitude, and sit here for welding for the next like 2 to 3 hours. So let's get it. So we've got everything tacked on this side. We're going to go through with the wire wheel and clean up all the edges. This is going to allow for a nice clean weld, direct metal to metal with no copper in the middle, while still having plenty of copper underneath this fish plate and the chassis rail and our surrounding areas. Then we can sand it all, wax and grease thinners, prime it overnight, come in tomorrow morning, underbody respray the whole vehicle. Now we've got everything tacked, we're going to go through the wire wheel around the perimeter of the fish plate, then we're going to get into welding. Alright, now we've got everything wire wheeled and wiped down. We're ready to start the process. We're going to start welding our front, top, rear, bottom, go to the driver's side, do the same thing, start ticking off these 100mm segments. We're also going to lay some bead. Just a quick one guys, what I'm trying to aim for while we're welding each chassis row is we're welding all in the same direction. Now this gives a really nice finish and shows your workmanship and craftsmanship on the finished product. Now I know if this is my car, I'd love to look under there and see some nice dimes and they all flow in the same direction. So I won't give away too much, let's just keep welding everything out and stick around towards the end there and we'll show you the truly mesmerising finish that it gives off. And it's a shame that we have to sit there and prime it, paint and sand our dimes down in order to get that nice corrosive protection. It's enough talking, let's keep welding. Almost got the earth clamp. Can't have any fires going on. No, seriously, nothing's going to catch fire. You're not going to blow your car up. As long as all your earth on your battery is disconnected, you'll be sweet. And just keep this little baby here nice and close to you. Not that close that you lean on it and you fucking burn yourself. Well, update. No, I'm not in a black room because I burnt the whole building down. The power just went out right on the last stitch weld. So managed to actually get majority of it done, and we'll have to wait for the power to come back on and get back into it tomorrow at this stage. All right, now we're back. We'll finish it. We got power again. All right, this is what I was talking about before. So we're back in. We've finished the last bit of welding. As you can see, all the dimes going one way. Now we're about to wire wheel everything. Primer, wait for it to dry, paint, and then get into the lift kit. This goes to show you where your imperfections on your weld are. So always room for improvement, but you can see that dime effect coming through. You can also see where we've stopped and started. So you could grind those tacks down to get a seamless finish, but you also got to stop and start there. But overall, nice, clean. Everything's been plug welded. You've got access to your fill filler bolt. Plenty of primer. Now we wait and then gloss black.